as we join us today as we go visit Daniel Deephouse here in Hollywood.
Hi. Hi, my name is Daniel Deephouse and welcome to my bonsai garden.
Daniel, thank you for inviting us. How did you get into bonsai? I mean, really quick,
I started when I was 8 years old. My grandmother, my Oma, she learned bonsai in Indonesia during World War II. She was a nurse there.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, and I wasn't really fitting in. I was a little bit, my reading wasn't great. I wasn't really connecting with other people very well, other kids.
Okay.
And my grandmother got me into bonsai. She realized that if I could focus on this and I enjoyed it, then I would read. Because back then there was no YouTube or anything. You had to read the magazines and the books to know what was going on. And we would go to bonsai club every week together.
As an 8-year-old?
As an 8-year-old. I think I was the youngest member of the West Australian Bonsai Association.
That's kind of cool, actually.
Yeah. It was until karate could come out. Then it was Daniel San. It was like,
Oh, that's hilarious. I didn't even think about that one. And then, did you still have your first bonsai?
My auntie has it in Queensland, I believe. A lot of them got stolen when I moved, because I've lived in Perth, Sydney, London, New York, and here. And when I left Australia, I gave my trees to 4 or 5 good friends and my grandmother, my Oma, who actually taught me bonsai. And she had a lot of her trees stolen from the nursing home.
Oh.
Which is really sad. I hope they're still alive. But the one tree is a ficus. It's a Moreton Bay.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. And it's amazing because my mother had it for about 4 or 5 years when I left Perth.
Uh-huh.
And the leaves of it, and you see those leaves are this big.
Oh, crap.
But I got them down to this big. But by the time I got it back from her, all the branches were gone.
Uh-huh.
And it was just one
giant stick
all the way up with 2 leaves on it.
That was a literati now, you know?
Yeah, but they're great because you just chop them off and off they go again.
Awesome.
They really are forgiving trees. But yeah, my auntie has it, and it's probably due for a repot, so I probably need to visit her.
I think it's time to take a visit. I want to go too.
Yeah. So then I've got a couple other ficuses that I left with some friends in Sydney, and I go visit them every 2 years. And this year was the first year I went back in the winter, so I could actually repot some of the...
Oh, their winter?
Their winter. So I could actually repot some of the elms and whatnot I'd left with him. Some of us hadn't repotted in 20 years.
Oh, it's kind of cool.
They're still alive.
Let's talk about that tree right in front of you. So what makes that tree so special?
This tree is special because it came from Kathy Benson, a very good bonsai friend of mine. And this is actually, she has got 3 trees out of this tree. It was a reverse taper. And so she laid it off and then created this whole new tree from the base.
That's a wicked looking tree.
It's cool, isn't it?
It is really cool.
It had some problems in here, so we're regrowing some branch structure, and it needs repotting. But
it's a great start. I mean, a great start to a good legacy, another good legacy tree.
Yeah, this is a tree that I'll always keep because it's come from Kathy.
Awesome. Let's go on the other side and we'll talk about the other trees.
So I love this little tree because I got it from the raffle at the Santa Anita Bonsai Club. And it basically then was like 3 little tiny branches like this. And this was dead wood but wasn't carved. And this live vein has really popped since.
Oh, that's sweet. That's a sweet little tree.
Yeah, it's really cute. And to think it was just someone didn't want it anymore and it's just a little throwaway.
Jeez, that's a waste.
Yeah, and I mean I love going to the clubs just for the raffles really and catching with people. But you walk in, pay $20 for a ticket and you work out $100 worth of stuff.
What are you doing here in LA? I mean, you came from Australia. What was the purpose of coming over?
To LA?
Yeah. It wasn't trees, was it?
It was.
It was it?
It was trees. I was living in New York for 10 years, and before I moved to New York, I moved here. And then my job closed up and I got a job in New York. I never wanted to be in New York. I wanted to be here. And so when I had the opportunity, I decided I was going to pack up and move back. And then it was for the trees and landscaping.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. And then during COVID, I actually started a landscaping business.
Awesome.
I used to create alcohol brands, and then that all failed during COVID. And then I was volunteering at the Huntington.
Okay.
But that stage was during COVID, so not many people could go.
Okay.
You had to be a certain age, under a certain age, blah, blah, blah. So I could go, and I realized this is what I want to do the rest of my life. And I put it out there, and it's happening.
Oh, that's awesome. Living the dream, man. Living the dream.
Yeah. Well, you've only got one life.
Oh, that's true.
And I've done everything else, so this is what I want to do as a kid. So
you are living the dream.
Yeah. And I literally thought, how could someone from Perth, Western Australia become a full-time bonsai artist? And it's like, I'm never going to live in Japan. I still haven't been to Japan yet, so hopefully that'll happen soon. And it's living in California, it's happened. It's happening.
Wow. Living the dream, that's what I have to say.
So this is one of my favorite trees in the world, actually. It's a coral, what is it?
Coral bark. No, coral bark? No, coral.
No, it's a coastal coral.
Oh,
Flame coral. And as a kid, I used to have these around the classroom growing up, and they're just such amazing trees. The red flowers and the thorns on them. They normally have big movement in them. Of course, this one doesn't have much movement. I was going to buy one, and then I found one at a show. It was done the Penching style, and I've been working on it. It needs a little bit of a pluck, but it's one of my favorite trees.
You know, that tree's pretty iconic here in like Beverly Hills, because you see them lining on not Rodeo Drive, but going to.
Yeah, there's a few big. If you go down towards the beach,
yeah,
they're along the promenades. It's actually the tree of LA.
Really?
It's LA's official tree.
Oh, I didn't know. See, that's something I didn't know. Look at that. It's kind of cool.
So I love feminas. This is great. I mean, with care and gloves, and you can see this guy needs a bit of a trim. But I got this from the Bonsai-a-thon again. It was a display tree, or a tree they actually did what do you call it?
Demo? Is it a demo tree? It was a demo tree. Oh, that's like.
Yeah, but it actually came from the planting, or one of the leftover trees from Goshen 2.
Oh, that's kind of cool. So that's some history behind that one.
Yeah. And it was my first femina. I mean, volunteering at the Huntington, I worked on a lot of feminas there.
Uh-huh.
And I grew a love for them and a respect to wear gloves.
If you please comment if you have a femina and you understand what Daniel's talking about, because I know what he's talking about. Comment on it, what stories behind femina that you have, because
one rule with feminas: always pick up the cuttings, because these little things, when they dry, turn to needles and they go deep. Nice little things.
Yeah.
Bonsai-a-thon again, and no one wandered because I had no branches. And I'm doing a wire and clip and grow. So I wire it up, get some movement in it, and I let it thicken up, and I'll cut it back later on to a clip. But I like to use the wire to stabilize some thickness first.
Oh, that's pretty smart.
And then you can cut back.
So this is this is what we call compact bonsai garden. I'm gonna turn around here. This is all the space that Daniel uses. That's it.
That's it.
That's it. This is so. When people complain, I don't have enough space, like I do. I complain I always have enough space. Daniel is utilizing every square centimeter of his spot here.
Just go up.
So he has 2 benches on either side. This gets three. Well, it's layered. Three layers here, and full sun all day.
Full sun all day.
See that?
This gets full sun until about 1 or 2.
Okay.
This gets full sun all day. Yeah. So the ones who don't love so much sun is on this side, and the other ones are on this side. They bake away.
So, go ahead.
Interesting tree. This was one of my clients had tented their house and had a giant bougainvillea that died. Well, it wasn't dead, it was just burnt. And we had a huge argument about whether it was dead or not. And they chopped it out, and I saved it. And now it's one of my little favorite stumps. I mean, this will probably rot away eventually, but for now, it's kind of pretty.
You know, this is the benefit of having a landscape business, isn't it? That you can just go, you can get rid of it, I can do something with it. I think that's pretty smart.
That's part of my whole thing, the landscape, is I always try to save the plants. And my whole back end of my property here is all plants that are saved. So I try to save the plants. I don't like killing plants. And I always try to find a home for them. So yeah, most plants out of the landscape will turn into a bonsai.
That's a pretty cool tree.
Yeah, this comes from
Mr.
Mr.
Shea
at the Huntington. One of his, another bonsai from fine. We're just painting him up at the moment.
What's your favorite tree out here right now?
I think this guy here is one of my favorites.
Why does that make so?
I don't know. Just one of my favorite trees.
Okay, yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I probably need to wire him up, but I'm just using these tension wires at the moment to bring him down. One of the things I do too, a lot of people wrap their tension wires around their pots. I use the wires we hold the tree down with.
Oh, using the tie downs.
Use the tie downs, and I do them from spots, so it's nice and neat and tidy.
Oh, that's pretty smart. Yeah, I tie mine. Well, I'm a lazy bonsai practitioner.
Me too.
When I get a chance to wrap the pot, I'm like, you know what? No one's gonna see the tree, but that's pretty smart when you're But you had to plan ahead. You planned ahead a little bit on that one,
But
didn't you?
So what I find too is if you put it around the sides of the pot, you end up with calcium marks on the pot that you got to deal with later on.
Oh, that's true.
And
Yeah.
then you've always got this problem with the wires coming down here, and then it's always going to affect another tree. When you're moving it, it gets hit.
Oh,
So this way they're all tied into the tree, and there's less chance of it getting affected.
that's pretty smart. That's pretty smart.
This guy here's one of my favorites as well. This is a Clark tree. It's so the wire's actually buried into him.
Oh, he does that.
He does that, yeah. Initially, when I first found out that, when I first got the tree, I wanted to turn into a big pine.
Uh huh.
So we couldn't find any. Sorry, it's my dog. And then I was told I couldn't do that because of the wire, and you would have a different bark at
Yeah.
the top and the bottom. So then I squashed him down, and
It's nice showing.
yeah, it's
That's a
doing
little
it.
big for showing, but still, it's
little
so,
big.
so cool looking pine.
It needs to be wired. But yeah, this is the natural size of the needles.
That's pretty good because they're pretty uniform. That's pretty nice.
I just
Like
clipped
it.
him the other day. Yeah. My little surfer dude.
A surfer dude. What's your? I see you guys. I see you have a giant ficus in the back. You gotta talk about the giant ficus.
This guy needs a trim badly, but it's another one of my favorite trees. It's a Benjamin ficus. It's a clump style.
It's looking pretty good down in the shade here.
Yeah, it's gonna be in full sun very soon when the sun comes over.
That's not a small tree, by the way.
It's not a small tree. I do like big trees.
You know, but they have this presence. I'm not. People understand that. You know, big trees have this presence. It doesn't matter. Like you walk in a room and it's presenting. You're like, it's here.
Yeah.
Versus I'm sorry, Peter. You know, Shohin trees. They don't have the presence of the big trees.
They don't.
But
They
that's.
have the love though.
Yes, they do.
They
But
have the love. But no, I do love the bigger trees, and you can do a lot more with a bigger tree.
you're running out of space, though. That's the problem with big
I'm
trees.
running At the Huntington, they've got a lot of giant trees that no
Yeah.
one can see in the nursery. So
Uh-huh.
I think soon they're going to do a display of the Valley of the Giants.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I see you got more ficus on the ground here. So what's going on? Let me back up the camera real quick.
So I built these benches to get all the bonsais off the ground, and as soon as I did that, all these other ones appeared. So one of the classes I'm doing at the Juice Leaf on August 6th, so I do them once a month there. It's a high-end plant shop. I'm teaching people bonsai. These come from Florida, I think originally China actually, and they're little tiger barks. So I will show you how to turn this from a pre-bonsai to a bonsai. And basically we go through the brand selection and just do the twos everywhere, and then we wire it down.
That's kind of cool because not many people are doing beginner classes, and it's awesome that you're really giving back to our community. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, the more people can bring into bonsai, the better.
You know,
Really
it's true.
share the love.
That's true. Any other trees on this side? You got a lot of trees, Daniel.
So this was so this is the last class I did. Little
Chinese elm. Oh, look at that.
We turn that into that
That's kind of cool.
in one class. And it's fun watching people like have fun with these and chop them around. You got to keep an eye on them because they really do get vicious with the scissors.
I think it's they're thinking they're doing something with the trees because they're cutting it.
Oh, but people get upset too when they cut the trees. So this guy's what you said. It's $5 from Home Depot, and it's one of those little pine trees you get for.
Oh, it's a
Christmas.
stone pine. It's a
Little
stone pine. Yeah.
And when I got a couple of them, and I was so excited because they were so cheap. And then someone told me how big the needles get, and like because an adult needle is the needles
Oh,
like
yeah.
this long. So I thought I'd grow up big, and I thought that's going to take too long. So then I wired the little bugger up, and it's going well. And he's going to pot this winter.
If you had one suggestion for a bonsai person that's been in it for a while, because a lot of people say join a club, get networked, but for someone that's a little more experienced now, what suggestion would you give someone that just got into the hobby and then is really going really deep into the hobby? What's one suggestion?
Pay more money for nicer trees.
Really?
Yeah.
Why that?
Because always you end up with 100 little things. This should be a nice display. If I actually just had my nice trees and pedestals, this would look quite beautiful.
But that's after learning the tree, right? Not just
But
initially.
then you become a collector and a hoarder.
But that's all of us.
This is the second class I did.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, and it's just a little $10 Home Depot tree.
That's very sweet. One last tree before we go.
One last tree.
You got a lot. So I'm putting you on the spot. You have a lot.
One last tree. Oh, this guy. So it's a coastal oak, I believe. And when I got him, he was like out here. And there was a lot of long internodes. And you touched a branch, it just snapped off.
Ooh.
It'd been kept too wet, I think.
Uh,
So eventually I left one branch left. And I made that one branch, we're using wire. All this in 1 year.
oh, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. And then what happens, I get the fresh green growth and I just wire it up while it's still green.
After that, kind of ligamifies really quick.
And then it goes nice and hard. And then I'll start, from this now, I'll do clip and grow. But before this was like, you can see there's 2 branches here and it was just big. And it was, you couldn't do much with it. But with this, all one branch.
That's pretty sweet. I like it.
Yeah. It'll be fun in a couple of years' time.
I think so too. You know what? I'll leave your information in the description if you want Daniel for your landscaping. He does koi pond. I'll just put a click of the koi pond that he has in his house here. But if you have a comment or something to give to Daniel, you know what? Give him a heads up. If you guys like the video, like and subscribe. Thank you, Daniel, for your time today. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.